accepted the Holy Father's appeal for a ceasefire at once, but the leaders of the Allied forces did not. The Pope's request for the signing of a Christmas truce was arrogantly rejected. However, there were informal, haphazard, and unauthorized truces along the parts of the Western Front, in France, up through Belgium. The heroes of this story are the lowest of the ranks, the young, the hungry, the cold, and the optimistic, those who acted with great courage to put down their guns, overcoming a fear that placed a gun in their hands in the first place. Theirs is a story of faith, faith in the spirit of Christmas, and faith in their fellow man. That's the story we hope to tell. The enemy trenches were separated by a shell-blasted battlefield referred to as no man's land. The troops were so close in some places that whenever the fighting died down, each army could hear each other's voices and could sometimes even smell their breakfasts. They all knew that they were sharing the same terrible conditions. It was not unusual for little groups of men to gather in the front trench and hold impromptu concerts, singing patriotic and sentimental songs. And the Germans did much the same. In the quiet evening air, the songs from one line floated to the trenches on the other side. And there were, sometimes they were received with applause, sometimes even with calls for an encore.
It cheers me to see the German soldiers bailing out their trenches and having to dig new ones. They're just like us. Hey, how are you getting along, Fritz?
Hey, Tommy, come over here!
Come over here yourself.
With
In addition to the singing, there were reports of cornet solos and the piping of piccolos. Musicians often doubled as stretcher bearers. Many times on the German side, military musicians acted as cultural brokers and were credited with modernizing both the military itself as well as its music. There were even bands in some of the German trenches who added to the evening concerts. Of course, understandably, there was great variation with regard to band size and instrumentation. The rise of military music as a social and musical foundation was the result of Army reorganizations, instrumental innovation, and far-ranging aesthetic developments. And then came the Christmas season, bringing the added factor of the traditional holiday, a feeling for peace and goodwill and thoughts of home and family. The localized armistices grew into a more widespread but far from complete and stable truce. Collectively, though, possibly the largest such voluntary cessation of hostilities ever seen in wartime. By Christmas Eve, some lower-ranking British officers had begun ordering their men not to fire unless fired upon. This policy came to be known as live and let live, and it would be adopted on an ad hoc basis throughout the war, particularly, of course, in less active sectors. Like all implementations of live and let live, the officers' decisions were made entirely without any authorization from above. An tenuous truce slowly started to take hold. As December 25th approached, a constant soaking rain gave way to frost, and the battlefields of Flanders were blanketed with a light dusting of snow. The German Emperor, Kaiser Wilhelm II, had contributed to the holiday atmosphere when he sent the Tannenbaum and Christmas trees to the front, his way of bolstering morale. Germany's deep love for Christmas manifested itself in swamping the German supply lines with 500,000 fir trees, a commodity particularly well suited for fouling up anybody's postal system. The spirit of the season was, though, undoubtedly and unstoppably afoot. Lights began to appear along the German parapets, which were evidently makeshift Christmas trees adorned with lighted candles, burning steadily in the still and frosty air.
O Tannenbaum, wie treu sind deine Blätter. O Tannenbaum, wie treu sind deine Blätter. Du grüßt in großer Sommerzeit, mein Nacken Winter, wenn ich schreit. O Tannenbaum, wie treu sind deine Blätter. Oh, come, all ye faithful, joyful and triumphant. Oh, come ye to Bethlehem. Come and behold him, born the King of angels. Oh, come, let us adore him. Oh, come, let us adore him. Oh, come, let us adore him, Christ the Lord. Adeste fidelis, lete triumphantes, venite, venite in Bethlehem. Natum venite, regem antemorum, venite adoremus, venite adoremus, venite adoremus Dominum. My heart, I love you. Life would be naught without you. Light of my life, my darling, I love you. I love you. I can forget you never. From you I ne'er can sever. Say you'll be mine forever. I love you.
On Christmas Eve itself, frost hardened the mud and froze the pools. When night fell, almost simultaneously, the Germans mounted.